Now we're on. Yeah.
All
There we
right,
go.
race fans, we are live. It is upside down world, kind of like George Costanza,
That's
upside
right.
down world. Because A, I'm wearing a suit, and B, the reason we're late is because Jason had to work out, take a shower, and he doesn't know how to tell time.
Exactly.
So we're a little bit
Exactly.
late. Now he look, he's sweating bullets, fan on in there. On the other hand, I gotta say, I'm looking good.
Sharp. Every
Also,
girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man.
I had the suit on because we're trying to figure out on my book, The Other Side of the Law, a
That's
cover.
right.
And
That's
Jason's
right.
thinking maybe like one side of me, a suit, and the other side not a
Yeah, we'll
suit.
get it.
Yeah, that
It'll be
could,
cool.
but we'll see. Welcome back. It's another edition of Live Feed Read. It is
Live.
September the 9th, 2022. I'm
Yeah.
Paul Reed, your host, with the Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson, Jason Crawford.
Boo.
It's a gloomy day out, Pooh. A lot of rain, but I guess any more rain's a good thing. So they
If it don't
say.
rain, nothing grows. So there you go.
All right, so what I've been doing is we're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on in the world, what's going on in America. One thing that we had talked about in the last show or two is automation, and of course, if you've been to Walmart, if you're a cashier there, you're out. Everything, maybe one or two of them,
Yeah,
uh, have actually human beings in there.
for sure.
Um, Up here at the Chili's, the hostess is now a little robot. If you didn't know that, yeah,
Wow.
the little robot greets you, takes you to your table. That's interesting.
Really?
Oh yeah, so there's another
Was it
job
like a?
gone.
I haven't been to Chili's in for freaking ever. So is it like a Roomba or something? And then it just like, "Hee."
Oh, it's a robot. Robot.
No way. And it just
Yeah.
what, like
And
Terminator style?
remember, people, Chili's always 2 for 1 on your alcoholic beverages. Just in case you
Buy for your robot friend and drink both.
But anyway, yeah, that's so that there's another job that's been displaced.
So
Of
really, like, are
course,
you
we
like?
know.
I'm sorry, I'm still wrapping my head around this. It's like a Terminator T1000 style robot that just walks you
No,
back.
it's like the robot on Lost in Space without the hand.
Okay.
So it's a little,
So like the
what's the
George
one on
Jetsons
Star
lady, like
Wars?
the
The one on
beep.
Star Wars,
Okay. Okay.
R2D2, that just goes around like a little cylinder.
In if this Chili's up here
Yeah.
blows my mind. I've got it now. I have to go check it out.
Jason has 4 kids and he doesn't get out much.
I
So
don't.
most
No,
of the
absolutely
stuff
not.
we
I'm
talk
cooking.
about, he learns as we speak as well.
That's so true.
And then just the other thing in the paper, Microsoft collaborates with Japanese corporation Teleexistence. So now they're making robots that are stocking the shelves of your stores, your Walmarts, your Publixes. And so there's just another job that will be falling by the wayside.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And we already know that Amazon, I believe, or someone is working on drones dropping off your packages.
Oh no, yeah. Okay.
Thank you for coming, FedEx and UPS drivers. Keep on the lookout there.
Did
We
you hear
already
about
know
the
that
artificial intelligence?
semi tractor trailers, semis are driving, driverless and delivering product. There goes your truck drivers.
Yeah.
It's it's an interesting world. Soon, I don't know what people are going to do for a job.
Did you hear about the AI that Google is working on?
Now, what's that? AI would be
Artificial intelligence. So
Okay.
not a robot operating according to programming to just walk someone to a seat and come back, but like actual conversational sentient, quote unquote, sentient AI. Scary, bro. It's scary. I'll send you
Oh
some
no.
videos.
Well,
I'll send you some videos.
I forget I was at, but a lot of them are ordering. You order at the table on their the little computer. So
Yeah.
No,
this is the guys talking to the AI, and it's conversing with him about why it's withholding information from some of the other programmers, and like it's actually lying the motivation to lie.
Yeah.
It's really, bro. It's freaking
Scary.
scary,
Yeah.
bro. It's
Well, and
scary.
interesting, not to hammer this subject, but remember Skynet started the World War for
That's what everyone's
Terminator.
talking about.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
just saying. So you're
yeah,
talking about this artificial intelligence, and it's got its own mind. And what happened in Terminator was human. We need to get rid of the humans, and bada bing. So
yeah.
anyway, all right. So that's number one. Let's see number two. Here's something you may not have known, and most people wouldn't. So you've heard a lot, or maybe you haven't, but some have
Get me
heard
off policy.
about Joe Biden's not wiping out, but what's the term I'm looking for? Getting rid of. I'm drawing a blank. Forgiving. That's what it is.
The student
Forgiving
loan debt.
student loans from $10,000 to $20,000, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So guess what? With every action, there's
The
always a reaction, right?
opposite but equal reaction laws of
The
dynamics.
Okay, so you get $10,000 to $20,000 loan forgiveness.
Yeah,
That's a good thing, right?
can be.
Do you owe any money to anyone based on the loan forgiveness? Let's just say $20,000.
Yes.
Who?
I mean, I still owe the rest of it. I would.
No. Let's just say you have a
Yeah.
$20,000 loan. It's a Pell Grant, and they wipe out $20,000. Do
Okay.
you owe any money to anybody?
No. Okay.
The forgiveness is income. You've just increased your income from $20,000. If you're in a 30% bracket, you owe $6,000 in income.
Wow. Wow.
Bada bing.
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
if your state has a state income tax, which we don't, guess what? You owe more than that.
So it's essentially like one of those loan shark things where they call you up and they're like, "Hey, you got to start making payments." So, well, if you pay it off now, we'll just go ahead and reduce your payment. Just pay it off now. You have cash to pay it off now. It's
No,
like one of those kind of things, right?
No. It's just the tax code considers things like that to be
Yeah.
income.
Income.
By way of
So
example,
interesting.
if you're on The Price is Right and you win the new car, right?
Yep. Yeah, you have to pay
You've
taxes
got to
on
pay
it.
taxes on it.
On the price of the car. Yeah. I do know
The
that.
guy on what's the Jeopardy? You win $1 million. You don't win $1 million.
Yeah.
They're taking 40%.
Wow. Yeah, so I have mixed feelings on this whole thing because, dirty white boy from Alabama, didn't qualify for any of the special programs that got me any kind of thing. I think my ACT score was 24, so I'm not like super super bright and get any kind of scholarships. I'm just like right there, slightly average to the top of average or something like that, maybe, if you can argue that. And so the only way that I even got to go to college, I was terrified of debt. I didn't want to go to college, actually. I was telling everyone I wanted to go to trade school, learn to trade, and just kind of like try to do it with as little debt as possible. Mom, a friend from church, obviously the college counselor, the people that you talk to, they're gonna tell you and talk you into it. So they did, and I went. And they're like, "Oh, you're gonna make twice as much money with a
I'm with you.
degree as anybody else." And I got out, and I'm working
Hey,
at a place.
hey.
I know, sorry, yeah, I'm
They're
working at a
getting carried
place.
away. There's Sparky.
Bro, this gets me
Ladies
irritated.
and gentlemen, we see where Jason's at on the
When
line.
I got out of college, I was working at a place hiring high school students to make as much money as I did as the manager, and it just dawned on me that.
All right, we're cutting you off. We see where Jason's at on that. But I agree. I paid off my loans. Yeah. I paid off my kids' loans.
I'm still working on paying mine.
So whatever. I mean, it's
I'm self.
And just so you'll know, it's not a done deal. I believe there's a lawsuit or two claiming that the administration did not have the authority to do that. Only Congress could. Time will tell. All right, let's move on.
So wait, hold on. Technically, I'm not for or against. I'm just irritated. Right? Like whatever they decide to do, I don't care. I'll go with it. I owe the money, so it is.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't be for or against something. You can be for or against a lot of things. But
I don't know. See, that's just
you got to go with.
I don't understand all the ramifications that are going to happen.
Well,
I want do I want the money? Sure, I want the money, but I don't understand what that's going to do to everything down the road.
Well, I'm sure they'll. Well, again, I'm not going to get too political, but I'm sure it will cause the debt to be even higher,
Yeah,
if that's
of
possible.
course
I
it
mean,
will.
I think it's right now standing at a billion, trillion, gazillion. So
Do
what
you know
the
what else
hell?
causes the debt to be higher? Continuing to give money to colleges that mismanage the funds in the first place.
All right, we're done with this. All right. So, but okay, here was another thing.
Yeah, new subject.
Of course, everyone knows in Pinellas, Pasco, Polk, and Hillsborough County, that our Tampa Bay area, that car thefts are just
Yeah,
a part of everyday life, unfortunately.
well, they're on the rise, I
So
think. I've seen
let's just say, Jason, you have a child under
all over
the
YouTube.
age of 18,
Mm-hmm.
and they steal a car, $50,000 car, and they total it, right? And
Okay.
they catch your son. Um, can you be held responsible for your son? I should say son or daughter. Let's just go either way. Stealing that car and totaling it.
So I don't have the car, neither does my son. He steals one, totals it. Can I be held
Your
responsible?
son steals my car, totals it, and I say it's $50,000. Jason, you got to pay me because your
Yeah.
son stole my car.
I would think no.
0 for
Really?
2.
Oh,
Not only that, Jason,
oh,
not only
oh.
that,
Tell me.
you owe me, you could owe me as much as 3 times my 50,000.
Really?
You owe me 150. It's called the civil theft statute. And basically
Okay.
what it says is any person who proves by clear and convincing evidence that he or she has been injured in any fashion, reason, or violation of, and it's basically theft, has a cause of action for threefold the actual damages sustained and attorney's fees. So, Jason, you're going to be
Hmm.
on the hook for your son or daughter stealing my car for somewhere in excess of $150,000.
Fascinating.
And it goes
Fascinating.
on to say the parents of a minor are are responsible.
Okay. Yeah. The parents of a minor, I would think so. But you asked me 18, right? That's still technically
Well,
like
under
on
18.
the. Okay.
Under
Okay. Okay.
18.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It
That's
says,
fascinating.
let's see, any person who has cause under this action may recover the damages from the parents or legal guardian of the unemancipated minor who lives with his or her parents. Boy,
Fascinating.
shouldn't they start doing this? To me, and I'm no fan of the insurance industry for sure, but I
Yeah.
got news for you. If I'm an insurance company and these guys are stealing cars, I'd sue them both. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just that simple. And
Yeah. It's criminal.
whether it would stop or not, I have news for you. Uh, it would make a big difference.
It'd make a dent in it. Yeah.
These parents would stop that crap. There'd be a beating other than same old, same old.
It would
One
take some
car,
time, but
two
yeah.
cars, five. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's that. All right. And then the other one you
That
said,
is fascinating, though, man.
yeah, the other one you said you didn't know about, which is I believe it's still early on in the federal litigation, is be quiet, Millie. Ron Desantis, of course, the governor, suspended.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
suspended Andrew Warren, the Hillsborough County State Attorney, a few weeks ago.
I did know that. I didn't recognize his name when you said it earlier. I was like, who even
Okay,
is that? Yeah, yeah. I know what you're
and
talking about.
and then of course he's stating that. Let me see. I wrote it down, but let's see. It says
You
that
said some pretty direct things.
yeah. No. It says DeSantis accused the twice elected state attorney of incompetence and
And
neglect of
abuse of power.
duty,
Yep.
pointing out two joint statements Warren signed alongside other Democrat prosecutors
Mhm.
around the country. One pledged not to criminalize gender affirming health care for transgender people, and the
Mhm.
other to refrain from prosecuting those who seek or provide or support abortion.
Right.
That's also
And it
Warren's
was in
office.
response to the Roe v. Wade decision.
Yeah, Warren's
Yeah.
office policies are also. Let's see. DeSantis also cited Warren's office policies on not prosecuting certain low-level crimes, including trespass at a business and disorderly conduct. Well,
Yeah.
that's forget the whole prosecuting the abortionist and so forth. Forget the trend. So you're not even going to prosecute trespassers to a business and
Right. Yeah.
people of disorderly conduct?
Look at
I mean,
California. Yeah.
your job is the prosecutor is to prosecute crimes. Now, I know you have some discretion, but just to say we're not going to do it, I mean, you see what's happened throughout the country with that crap.
Hmm.
Not going well.
So without necessarily trying to jump on one side or the other,
Yeah.
taking a step back and looking at it, like if I were hired by a roofing company to
Hmm.
do the job on the roof, and I just decided I'm not doing that today. You know what? I'm not gonna do those unless da 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 da. Right? Then I get
Yeah.
fired because I'm not fulfilling the job I was hired to do. I think that was it a government prosecutor, state prosecutor?
Yeah,
There's a
state
it's
prosecutor.
local. It's
Yeah.
local.
Same thing. He's a
He's hired to do a job, and if he doesn't
state
agree
attorney.
with the law, I mean, like you said, I think there's certain areas of discretion, perhaps, but the
Right.
judges get to decide where the areas of discretion. Your job is to prosecute and uphold the law. If you want that to change the law. Like
Well, right.
get into the
Interestingly
Capitol.
enough, and the reason I brought not just for this. Okay, so that's just one instance of a governor exercising his authority, i.e., removing a a politician. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
a government official from office. Right? Big stink all over CNN, all Fox,
sure it
all
is.
over the news. DeSantis Republican, Warren Democrat. So it's blowed up. You know what? Okay, so and it has to do with the transgender issue and the abortion, hot topics. You
Yeah.
know what you didn't hear a lot of? Okay, so Chris, what is it? No, not Chris. Scott. Um, what the hell's his name? Freaking Rick Scott. Back when he
Oh,
was the governor a couple of years ago, he removed cases from the for the state attorney in Orlando, which is Orange County. Okay. Why did he do that? One might ask. Because she stated, I won't seek the death penalty. So there's 29 cases in I believe 29 cases in Orange County where the state attorney says, I don't believe in the death penalty, therefore my office is not going to ask for it. Well, here in Florida, the great majority of people are, I would say, probably in favor of capital punishment. All right. And so when Rick Scott removed somebody, or he didn't remove them, but removed the cases and said, no, we're taking them away. No big stink because it was something we agreed with. We agreed that you should prosecute the capital cases if warranted. Interesting though, Rick Scott removed them from Orange County to Lake County. Hell, Lake County, they take you into the courtroom, out the back door, shoot you, death penalty, case
jeez,
over. So all of
jeez.
them went to Lake County.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, he chose probably the most pro death penalty county, hell,
Wow.
in the United States of America.
That's funny. Well, I mean, yeah, that's funny.
But I'm just saying, so there was no big stink there. You didn't hear Fox and CNN blowing that up 24 hours a day, 7 days
Yeah.
a week. It didn't make the paper 24/7. There was a comment or two about it. It made it, but then
Yeah.
people were like, "Yeah, that's what needs to happen." Oh, mind you, she didn't get reelected. Boom, out she goes.
Right. Yeah.
I'm doing my webcast. Chill out. Another one that people didn't, you haven't heard, or most people haven't heard, and doesn't make the news. After the Parkland school shooting, right? 2018.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, down south.
Yep. Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Florida.
I don't know, a bunch of kids got shot and killed, and very bad.
Yep.
And that guy's on trial right now for the death penalty. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
they impaneled a grand jury. Now, grand jury is not a political body. It's you, me, Bob, Johnny, Freddie, Sally.
Right.
The grand jury. So they did 2 years of investigation, right? And they came back and said that these 4 people on the school board should be fired. All right, that was the grand jury's recommendation, 144 pages long, and basically said, here's what they did wrong and why they should be fired.
Okay.
They were fired. No big deal. It's not like CNN and Fox and everybody else is making a big stink about that, because
Right.
once again, these are elected officials.
Yeah.
They were, didn't perform their duties, and you fired
Sure.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but then
it's
in this case, so you're
interesting.
saying that in this case with DeSantis, they're making a big stink.
Well, because what are the issues that Warren talked about? And again, I'm
Right,
not
because they're
saying I'm
hot, because
pro
they're like
anti, but
viral worthy
the
issues.
issues here were,
Yeah,
which are hot. I mean,
they're
transgender
very hot.
issues and abortion
Yeah,
versus, a school board not protecting the students. Well, yeah, you
right,
should be fired,
right.
or a state attorney not seeking the death penalty on
Yeah,
heinous crimes. Yeah,
yeah,
you should be fired. So it's like the news and people will say, well, if it's something I care about, then this is what I think
yeah.
should happen. But if it's something I care about over here, so it's really interesting. But the
That is
bottom line,
interesting.
the point was, DeSantis has the authority to do that, to not only warn, to
Okay.
not, this was back Rick Scott, but not only the state attorney in Orange County. He fired the sheriff, if you recall,
Mm-hmm.
down in my Broward after taking offer for the same thing. Nobody screamed and hollered about that. So it's just interesting when you're watching these commercials. Understand it's just
Yeah,
a commercial, and you can say anything you want.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and all of them, the sheriff, the four ladies down in Broward, the school districts, the and Warren all say that the government is going the government DeSantis is going against the will of the people uh, by suspending or firing us.
Well, that's easy to determine.
Well, just because look, it's my
Like it's
I
real easy to
wasn't born
determine.
yet, but Richard Nixon was elected president. But I guess whatever happened with Watergate, the will of the people, he quit because he was fixing to get fired.
Yeah,
So just because you can't say, well, the people elected me. Well, yeah, they elected you basically on commercials.
yeah,
Who be kidding? They elected
sure.
you on commercials, and more times than not. And once you get into office, that doesn't say, well, because I'm elected, I can break the law and do
I
what I
have
want.
immunity, I have protection.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah.
that's kind of their argument. Well, we were elected by the people, and therefore we can't be fired.
Well, of course you
Wow.
can. Even the president can be fired. We call it impeachment.
Well, I understand, but I'm just saying that's the argument that they're making.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's silly. You have no natural immunity to being fired. No one does in any
Right.
position. Like maybe the
Yeah.
Queen, rest her, R.I.P.
Well, yeah, God bless the Queen. That's sad. But hey, look, in all
96
fairness,
years, bro. That's
96 years. Look, I'm 58,
wow.
70, 88, 90. If I could get 38 more years first, the over or under, take the under, then I would be ecstatic.
Bro, 96. You know how much she saw?
Oh,
Close.
everything.
Winston Churchill.
Everything.
The people quoting Winston Churchill from their like studies. She's
Yeah,
like, I heard
no,
him
she
speak. He
she
was my
saw
prime minister. Like what?
everything.
What?
All right, so we went on for about 20, 25 minutes.
True. Yeah. Okay. We should wrap it up.
Anybody watching? Anybody
Yeah, we
comment?
did.
Any
We
questions?
shot up quite a few times. Yeah.
All right. Well, in the future, TV audience, so to speak, if you have questions, you can
You
email
can
us
comment
to us.
below. You can comment below, email them. You can
You
submit them
can
to the
submit
Facebook
them right
page.
now. We'll address it if we can.
Yep.
We always like a little back and forth with the audience. We really don't get a whole
100%.
lot of it, but we would
Yeah.
like it. Other than that, it's going to be a rainy weekend.
We're gonna shoot some photos.
Millie's got to get spayed, which is the right
Ooh.
thing to do. She doesn't know it. She's sitting here beside me. So she'll be all right. Mom's in town because, like I said a couple of weeks ago, my older brother is a grandpa again. Now, mind you, he had all girls, like 4 girls. All of his grandkids, that's right, all girls. So far, Big Daddy, only boy. 2 girls. So we've got a plethora of girls
Yeah.
in the family and just 1 junior. All right,
Yeah.
Jason, any last words before you take us out?
No. Just drive safe. It is wet, and if you do need an accident attorney, nothing here is legal advice. So if you do need one, you need to contact one directly, right? And if you find
There's
yourself in
a
that
holler.
situation, we're here for you. So
Exactly. All right.
All right, cool.
Everybody have a great weekend.